really went wrong between them? Why did Janelle say the word divorce when they were never legally married? And how does a spiritual divorce even work in a polygamous world? Imagine a marriage so complex that it's not just about legal papers or living under the same roof, but about spiritual bonds tying souls together. Now imagine breaking that bond not once, but twice, with the two most iconic sister wives, Janelle and Meri. This isn't just a breakup.
I never really thought about a spiritual divorce. It didn't even occur to me. It's really not part of that church anymore.
What really happened behind the scenes? And why is this shaking the entire Brown family to its core? Stay tuned, because this story reveals pain, betrayal, faith, and freedom in a way you've never seen before.
The legal divorce, I knew that the spiritual part of it was so valid, because if it wasn't, what was yours? What was Robyn's? What was Christine's?
Welcome back to my Update Gossip channel. The complicated sister wives relationship. Janelle Brown joined the Brown family in 1993, 3 years after Meri. From the beginning, their relationship was far from sisterly harmony. Theirs was a marriage to the same man, Kody Brown, but without the closeness that many expect from sister wives. Instead, they lived more like distant roommates, sharing a household, but not a genuine connection. Janelle once said, "We were never..."
I never worried about it.
So, I know that Christine's perspective on it is, well, I don't believe in that faith anymore. And
I wasn't interested. I didn't
more
feel
like
the need for
strangers sharing a
divorce. I was
space.
at a different spot spiritually.
Meanwhile,
I believe in God,
Meri
and He
has
was great
often
with me
expressed
leaving,
feelings
so
of
the conversation
isolation
was good
and
enough for
emotional
me.
neglect.
So when I
This tension wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. Because in their faith, sister wives are supposed to uplift and support one another, united by a divine bond. When that bond weakens, it threatens the entire foundation of their polygamous family. What's even more surprising, Janelle was actually once married to Meri's brother before joining the Brown family, a fact many casual fans don't know. This made their dynamic even more complex. Janelle coming into the family wasn't just a second wife, it was layered with personal and family history. That added tension from the very beginning. What is spiritual divorce? Spiritual divorce isn't like the legal divorces we know. It's about ending a sacred, eternal bond, a covenant of souls that polygamous families like the Browns believe is sealed by God.
In my head, you know what I mean?
You've been married that way.
I've been married 30 years and it had validity.
When Janelle and Meri announced their spiritual divorce, not just from Kody, but from each other, they were saying something powerful. We are no longer spiritually connected. This act carries deep emotional weight. It's a renouncement of shared faith and identity. For those outside polygamous communities, it's a difficult concept to grasp, but it reveals just how painful and complex these relationships really are. In many fundamentalist Mormon sects, a spiritual marriage is seen as forever, even into the afterlife. So, choosing to end that isn't just about walking away in this life. It's saying, I no longer want to be eternally bonded to you ever again.
And I felt like that's what that was.
That's why Janelle using the word divorce, even without a legal marriage, was so powerful. It symbolized emotional and spiritual closure, not just separation from Kody, but from the entire framework of polygamy she once believed in. The breaking point. Why did it happen? Years of emotional neglect and favoritism towards Robyn, Kody's youngest and only legal wife, pushed Janelle and Meri to their limits. Janelle said, I felt like a placeholder, but I wasn't like I was being pushed aside. Meri shared,
About 8 weeks ago, Meri told me that she was going to go to Utah, meet with our church leaders, and basically request a divorce. It's called a release in our church.
When each
similar pain, struggling to maintain her place in the family. The cracks became impossible to ignore, culminating in Janelle's announcement of spiritual divorce. It was more than a breakup, it was a soul-level separation. Insider reports reveal Kody was blindsided and frustrated, unable to hold together the very family he vowed to lead. Over the last few seasons, viewers saw Kody's growing closeness with Robyn while distancing himself from the other wives. Robyn even
of us 4 ladies married Kody. It was through our church. Obviously, we can't all be legally married, but it was what we called a covenant.
once said on camera that loyalty is earned. That line stung fans and wives alike. Janelle saw this favoritism not just as romantic, but as a betrayal of everything they built as a plural family. Meri, too, remained legally divorced from Kody since 2014, yet was emotionally stuck, always waiting for something to change. But nothing ever did. Impact on family fans. This spiritual divorce is shaking the family's core. Kody's authority and role as spiritual leader are being questioned openly. Fans are divided. Many sympathize with Janelle and Meri's courage to seek freedom, while others still defend Kody or Robyn. Social media is buzzing with debates about loyalty, faith, and fairness. This storyline is more than reality TV drama. It's a cultural conversation about polygamy and emotional health. Emotional mental toll. The emotional pain of spiritual divorce is immense. Both Janelle and Meri have battled depression, grief, and loneliness behind the cameras. Janelle described the divorce as the hardest thing I ever did, but the only way to save myself. Meri echoed similar feelings of relief mixed with sorrow. Their stories remind us that mental health and
No matter what. And so however we are made accountable to God, I don't want to be accountable to this church and all their BS. So I'm going to let Meri go and do her thing. Because
spiritual well-being are deeply intertwined, especially in complex families built on faith and tradition. One viral fan comment said, "This isn't Sister Wives anymore, it's Kody and Robyn show." Another wrote, "Janelle and Meri are the real MVPs. They showed strength in walking away from a man who emotionally abandoned them." Reddit threads, Twitter, and even Facebook groups have exploded with debates not just about the show, but about modern womanhood, faith-based manipulation, and emotional survival. Psychologists say that spiritual trauma, the feeling of being torn between faith and freedom, can cause symptoms like anxiety, depression, and even identity crisis. For women like Janelle and Meri, who've built their lives around a belief system, breaking from it feels like starting from zero. But it's also where the healing begins. As Meri recently posted on Instagram, "I am worthy of love, respect, and peace." And Janelle has started sharing more empowering content, suggesting she's finally reclaiming her life on her own terms. Janelle and Meri's story is about more than polygamy. It's about every woman who stayed too long in a relationship that broke her spirit. It's about religious systems that sometimes suppress individual growth and the strength it takes to walk away from them. And it's about starting over, no matter your age or your past. Beyond the drama, their spiritual divorce offers lessons about boundaries, courage, and self-respect. Sometimes, breaking free from toxic or broken relationships, even spiritual ones, is essential for healing. This story shines a light on the hidden emotional struggles in polygamous families and encourages all of us to reflect on what faith and family really mean. What do you think? Is this spiritual divorce a brave new beginning or the end of sister wives as we know it? Drop your thoughts below. If you want to stay updated on the latest Brown family drama, subscribe and hit the bell, because in this family, the story is far from over.